What's up, guys? How are you? Good.
Ready?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I agree.
Sorry, I got police them.
Oh, yeah.
Or you can ask a question.
Right.
We're moving seats a little bit here, huh? No, somewhat. Maybe not.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. Looks like you're not going to have Turpin again this week, and you have a lot of returns in the jet scheme. How do you think you handled the returns last week with Cropper and Blue?
I think they did a good job. I think they've been preparing well. I mean, I think they made a couple really good decisions on where that ball was kicked. You know, that's the main thing, too, where people are trying to get it right near that goal line. So we got a couple touchbacks, and the one return was really close. So, again, they've been practicing really well this whole time.
You sticking with the same guys?
We're day by day with Terp, and then if that's the case, those, like I said, we do get a bunch of guys different reps. So who's ever up, we're ready for, you know, we've got guys for it. But if that's the case, yeah.
Clarence Hill, DLLS Cowboys. What do you do when Auburn's not perfect?
Nobody's perfect, right? It's hard because he's really good. You just talk to him. I always give him space. You know, he's always, you know, really locked in. And, yeah, he had that one miss right there. And it stunk that it was 15 yards further. But for him, obviously, expect to make all kicks. But he knew, you know, it was just one of those ones when it hits the upright, that's tough, you know, because it shows how close it is.
And then the kickoff out of bounds.
And the kickoff, true. Yeah, that too. He's had a couple, you know, slight mishits on some of those kickoffs. I mean, a lot of guys have some that end up going to the 40 or going into the end zone. So we just talk about it and just to correct it.
Yeah, because he's trying to get it in, you know, so they can return it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, like I said, you know, what is it, 79% have been returned. And I've always felt, even from week one, that it should be way higher than that, high 90s, I would think, because most people are kicking the touchbacks. They're not like 8 deep. You know what I mean? It's like 1 deep, 2 deep, the ones that are not landing zone touchbacks, you know, the minor, major touchbacks. So, yeah, it's just sometimes there's a little win. Sometimes you just hit it not perfect and just move on to the next.
Nick, Todd Archer with ESPN. Your Gunners, they seem to get down there at a time, but it's difficult to break down at times to get in there. How do you work on that? What do you do? And I don't know if you'd agree with that assessment.
No, I mean, we had a nice tackle last week. Brooksy missed the first one, then he got the second one. Yeah, we want to be taking shots and you know, depending on where the ball's caught compared to where the gunner is at that time. First thing you got to do is win at the line. You know, if it's a single or a double, you got to win initially and then get down the field. You'd like the punts to marry with it, you know, the hang time and distance. And, yeah, Carlos Polke works with those gunners, you know, every time that we do punt. So, yeah, we want our guys being aggressive but also making the tackle because they're the first ones down there. So we expect them, you know, along with the punt and direction and the gunners just winning.
John Machota with The Athletic. I know there's a lot of different spots on special teams, but are there any traits that you've found in your career that you think maybe makes a good special teams player?
It's a good question. I think it depends on the phase, but in general, I think football, you need guys that can run and are physical, like violent guys, willing, and then in special teams now, you got to have really good instincts in space. So that's the thing you kind of look for of guys that can, on the fly in space, can they make the right decisions? Because there's way more space. It's not a normal play, you know? Like the punt coverage, the kickoff coverage, there's so much space. You try to see our guys good reactive players, not just when you're covering, that's a huge part, but also when you're blocking, sometimes you got to make decisions to, all right, I can, you know, understanding leverage in space. So I think a lot of it is trying to gauge instincts, but always the speed and the violence for me is where it starts. And then what kind of finisher they are. That's what I look for on tape in college, the guys that are willing to finish in the block or finish to get to the play, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams, watching that tape. Because some guys don't have a lot of special teams tape. So you try and watch some of their offense and defense stuff to see if that mindset is there, because you got to have it. Because there's going to be a lot of space and you got to finish. I mean, that's going to generally be a good football player anyway, but it's the space reactions and instincts and just the freaking mindset.
When you say that, it kind of makes me think a little bit of Maris Leafau. How do you think he fits in that?
Oh, he's all that. Like, I think he really, it makes sense to him. And he doesn't slow down. That's why you see him being so downhill that he trusts his instincts. He has good instincts. There's no like sitting in a chair trying to figure it out. Like he goes and trusts it, and then knowing that his teammate can make him right and adjust in space also.
Nick Harris, Forward Star Telegram. When so many starters are out on both sides of the ball, it obviously affects your unit quite a bit. What do those conversations look like during the week? And then when an injury pops up in a game, what do those conversations look like on the sideline as well?
Probably exactly what you would expect. You try to talk about it during the week and prepare the guys, and sometimes they could be doing look team stuff. So I continually try and harp on these are your reps. You know, even if you're not getting the reps in practice, utilize the look team to get the opposing side, like use your techniques. And we try and mix in some drill work too that applies to everybody, but just like any backup, a lot of the reps you get are mental reps, and then you got to utilize those reps on the look team.
How much of a challenge is it if it happens in a game where you lose multiple starters, or is it kind of something you plan for?
You play. I try and go through every single one of them a few times, just like you would go in a call sheet as a coordinator. You're in situations, so I try and do that throughout the week, but also specifically Saturday and Sunday morning before the game, I'm always just looking at every depth and just picturing, okay, what would I do if this happened or this happened or this? Okay, what if these two? So I think we talked about that a week or two ago, that you're just kind of playing the game before the game. And so when your decision's already made, you can happen fast. If you haven't thought about it or kind of predetermined what you're going to do, then you can freak out, and that can make you lose your stuff and not be kind of calm in the situation to where you can, because it is going to happen fast. Okay, he's going here. Let's make sure we show him what we need to show him and talk him through it, because they're going through offensive and defensive stuff on the sideline too. It's a fun challenge. I do enjoy it. That part of it is fun. You don't like people getting hurt, but that's the cool part. How quick can you adjust in a game? And that's with offenses and defenses. That's the fun part. That's why I'm glad we don't have tablets that have videos. Like, I fully agree that working off the pictures is more, like, there's more preparation involved in that as a coach. Like, that's our job. I feel like the videos are kind of cheating a little. No, it's not cheating. I'm just saying it makes it a lot easier. I think it's less gamesmanship, and it's just like you can see the whole play, you know? Like, train your eyes to see it, you know, live, and then there's going to be 4 pictures that you can evaluate too. And then the players, how they talk about it means a lot also. So you trust your guys that can spit out information to you that's actually real and not something that they thought happened. That part's fun.
Joe Hoyt, Dallas Morning News. You talked a little about the returners, but specifically, what did you see from Jaden Blue and just his first chance to be a returner for you guys?
Like I said, it was the decisions and him and the communicating back there with Crop, and then also that one return, like just the instincts of just hitting it and not slowing down, and he was close. But really the main thing was fielding the ball first, which he did. He got himself in good position, the communication that he had with Crop, and then the correct decisions back there. Because that's, you know, we had a couple of those in the preseason, and that's kind of the stuff we've been practicing a lot of, is those ones near the goal line and when you should return it, when you shouldn't, what decisions, is it close? If it's close, freaking let's go. But he's been getting a lot of extra reps, whether it's in practice in the drills or post-practice. He's always catching on the jug. So he's been putting a lot of work into it.
Dave Loffenberg, 105.3 The Fan, Cowboys Radio. So Nick, on the Carolina's been one of the best in the NFL at covering kicks.
Yeah.
So does that change, just like you're talking about, when to return and when not to? Is this a week when you might say if it's going into the end zone, we'll take it?
We've been pretty consistent with that part of it in our decisions. Taking it out of the end zone, I think that's going to be situational. I think that is for a lot of people. If it's close, we want to take it out. But with them, it's more just preparing like anybody else. They've just been really successful in what they do, and they've been moving guys around a lot. So that was a fun preparation for Tracy and what he's been doing over there on Carolina. They've done a really good job, and their guys play really hard. It's a good scheme. It's good talent, and the kicker's been kicking really good too. The rookie, He kicks left, right, middle, dirty balls. He kicks them all. So and they try and make it difficult for you, and they play fast. So I respect the way that they've been playing. It hasn't showed up in the numbers on the other phases, but they are a hard playing, high effort team. So I have a lot of respect for what they're doing.
Christy Scales, Cowboys Radio, 105.3 The Fan. You mentioned Crop a moment ago. Jalen's been here for a couple years, but it's your first time to work with him. Mm-hmm. What had he shown you to earn the confidence with the elevations and to put him out there?
I think with him it's been consistency. And I think he's just he's not big, but he's a competitive, tough football player. That's how I'd probably describe him. not as a receiver or anything. I think he's a football player that gets it in space. We were talking about that. There's things that he does too that's really reactive, and you saw that in the preseason too. He'd never really played an interior spot on kickoff, and he's over there making good decisions, to go beat guys, and he's got good quickness. He's not heavy, but he's like strong and tough. Just like Turp is way stronger and tougher. For if you look at his weight, you'd be shocked. And I think Crop plays like that too. And I appreciate how he's consistent. He's got great energy every day. He competes every day. And he's got the skill set, so that usually translates to a good football player. And he works at it.
Garrett.
Garrett Podell, CBS Sports. Last year, Brandon Aubrey had a 70-yard field goal attempt in Carolina. How much does that factor into kind of the decision process to maybe attempt another one of those, particularly maybe this week?
Yeah, it always just depends on the situation of the game, and what's the conditions too. And every time you go to an outdoor stadium, it could be a little different. But it's situation, time on the clock, what's the score, and then what's the conditions. So I don't think any of those are outside of our framework of thought. I think it just depends on the situation and how Brandon's feeling.
How do you prepare for dirty balls, and how much of a challenge is that? It's
tough because you can't get the jugs to kick them as much as we try. And then Brandon will kick them too. He'll try and work on them. Those aren't 100%. Some guys are better than others, but he tries to give us different looks at it too. So we try and work those a little bit yesterday and today with our guys. But they're tough. No two are exactly the same. And with the football, the weird shape that thing is you can't duplicate where that ball can bounce. And that's what this guy's done really good. There's a few guys throughout the league that have hit some good ones, and that's helped their drive start a lot, in addition to the players they have and the scheme that they use.
How do you manage your time? You let Brandon and those guys handle their business, and you helping Shotty and what he does. How do you say, I got to let these guys do what they do, but also can help Shotty?
Yeah, just try and work it, us being the best special teams unit we can be. So everything starts there. It starts with the specialists, whatever they need. These guys have been working together for a while, so we give them their space, and they know when they can work on their own. And there's times me and Carlos will go in there and be with them as well. And so you just manage it. And it's always at the end, it's how we're going to win the game. So it's just in my final, whatever the process is, I'm just doing whatever it is that's going to help us win. And then you manage your time after that, there is no time limit on anything. If it's not done that's going to help us win, then I just got to keep working.